Hey guys, Eric Hobbs here, Under the Arch Sports. Taking a little bit of time to talk about Eli Drinkwitz and the coaching carousel. Before we start, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Spotify. And in the comments, tell us, do you think Drinkwitz is going to leave? If he does, where do you think he's going to go? What are you not scared of? Leave your thoughts in the comments. So, Eli Drinkwitz's name is coming up everywhere. Um, And that is part of the deal when you make Missouri into a school trying to win 10 games for the third year running. Um, the defense is super. The offense has had superstars. Um, and yeah, the thing's rolling right now for the most part, more than anybody on the national stage would ever expect. Within Missouri circles, there's a hope because, you know, Drinkwitz is the most powerful man on campus. He just got an extension. He is the 11th highest paid coach in college football. If this turns into a leverage for more money type of thing, there will be more money. So I think that is something that won't be a major factor is someone just bought Drinkwitz away from Missouri. Missouri will pay what it takes. This Missouri system, the entire administration, all of them are fully on board with Drinkwitz and what he's trying to do. All of them are like, yep, let's get this football thing going. From Drinkwitz to Laird Veach, the AD, to the board curators, to the system president, Moon Choi. Everybody is pulling in the same direction. And that is honestly not the most common thing in Mizzou history. And it's a great thing to have. Everybody's working towards the same goal. And all of them are kind of saying, hey, drink, do your thing. If you can justify it, you're good. It's all we need. That is power. That's why I said he's the most powerful man on campus. That's not always going to be the case at any of these other jobs. Now, outside of Missouri, I think there is a large assumption that Drinkwitz is going to leave. Part of that is the fact that historically, well, LSU, Florida, and Penn State, for example, are all viewed as superior programs. All right. Now, Florida, they've had two coaches. They've done nothing in their entire history when their head coach was not Steve Spurrier or Urban Meyer. So part of that is a little inflated, in my opinion. But LSU, yeah, viewed as one of the best jobs in America in general. I'm going to talk about why it might not be right now. Brian Kelly was the first head coach this century to not win a natty during his tenure at LSU. That's crazy. And Penn State, who is, call them a traditional power. If they get good, they are automatically one of the best three teams in the conference because it's the Big Ten. There is not the depth that you have in the SEC. So those are the three jobs that I have in mind. I don't think Drinkwitz would leave for any other job. And that is a testament to what he's done, building Mizzou's program up to be on solid footing in the SEC. Being in the SEC in general and not being a complete train wreck, that wipes out pretty much every ACC and Big 12 job, honestly. There are those that would say the worst Big 10 or SEC job is better than the best ACC or Big 12 job. So you have that going for you. He's done well. He's built the thing up. So yeah, there are not that many jobs that are clearly superior if you're Drinkwitz. So let's talk first about Penn State. Penn State does not make that much sense in the sense that it is a Big Ten type of a deal geographically. And Drinkwitz, aside from a cup of coffee coaching Boise State, where's he been? He's been in Arkansas, he's been at Auburn, he's been in North Carolina, at NC State and Appalachian State, and now at Missouri. He is an Arkansas native. His kind of southern accent and twang just doesn't feel like a fit with the Nittany Lions. But you know what? He'll have half the city talking with that same type of twang. He goes up there and beats Ohio State. Shoot, Missouri beating Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl a couple of years back probably looks unreasonably attractive to half the Penn State fans. You also have to consider that while he may not have been at the top of their list, there's a couple guys who may have been above him on the list who have signed contract extensions. Chris Ignetti and Matt Rule have both signed extensions, which, that is kind of the telltale sign of, yes, I'm willing to sign this extension. It is a signal of I'm not leaving. Can you leave after that? Sure. It looks pretty shady. Excuse me, Blake Baker. Leaving Missouri right after an extension. But uh, I don't think they're going anywhere. So if Drinkwitz was number 3 on the list to start, just throwing that out there, I have no idea. Well, he might be number 1. That could be. So, yeah. For lack of other options, Drinkwitz is high up on Penn State's list. You look at LSU. Well, LSU in general is a top 5 job in all of college football. Rabid fan base, tradition, facilities, donors, money, all of it. The problem right now is that the system is a mess. Who's the system president? Oh, yeah, they don't have one. The governor of the state is kind of meddling in this and went so far as to suggest that Donald Trump could make the pick for head coach. That was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and the athletic director being gone. Because if you announce that you're not going to let the AD make the pick, what's the point in keeping your AD? And everybody realized that. And LSU, if they go in the traditional order, they got to have a system president before they can have an AD, before they can have a head coach for football. That's how normal people would do it, but you are talking about a traditional Southeastern power. They may hire the football coach first. They could do that. Let's be honest with ourselves. LSU is not known as a traditional bastion of academia. So there are going to be plenty of people who think that the football coach is more important. They won't admit it, but they think it. Some. Either way, administratively, that's a mess. You don't even know who the people are, much less if they're all going to be kind of the same mindset like Missouri is, as I talked about earlier. So what you're walking into in terms of your superiors and your superiors' superiors, that's a complete crapshoot. And that makes everything there seem a lot less attractive. Finally, you have Florida. Florida wants Lane Kiffin. That seems plain to everybody. Ole Miss looks like they're going to go to the playoff. Missouri looks like they're not going to go to the playoff. Still mathematically in it. They went out. I think they're in. But with their quarterback situation and remaining schedule, no one's expecting it. So there is a presumption that Drinkwitz will be available at the end of November. Lane Kiffin won't. Are you willing to wait however long it takes for Ole Miss to be eliminated from the playoffs? If they win that first round game, you're talking about New Year's. Are they willing to bite the bullet and just have that first year be whatever to get Lane Kiffin? Because it would be a mess. They'd be a train wreck that first year, I think. Would they accept that to be able to have Lane Kiffin and, hey, you know what? Year 2, he's going to get this thing going? I don't know. Florida has not exactly shown itself to be patient, looking at some of the coaches they've run off. What, Jim McElwain ran out of town the first year he didn't win the SEC East when the divisions were still a thing? finish that first season, I don't think. That's insane. Um, why it hasn't worked with Billy Napier, I have no idea. But they have everything. Facilities, resources. The problem is the fan base might just be too crazy in terms of impatience. And that can come back to Missouri. If Drinkwitz spends his career going with a lot of 8-4 to 10-2 type seasons, and a down year is 7-5, maybe 6-6, and every so often, once every 5, 6 years, he can go 11-1, which 5, 6 years, 11-1. The fact that we're talking about that is a tribute to Drink, let's be honest. But if he can put together that kind of career, he will retire as Missouri's all-time winningest coach by a lot, and they'll build a statue. That's what would happen. Let's not kid ourselves. Things on campus would be named after him. Does he want that? Does he think, you know what? Get me at Florida, get me at LSU, Penn State. You see how long it takes me to win a natty there. Well, I think we all know Drinkwitz has some of that swag and self-confidence, but flip side, his family really, really likes being in Missouri and Columbia, by all accounts. So I'll be honest with you. LSU, I don't think would have made it to Drinkwitz on their list in terms of who they pick to hire a coach, except for the fact that the system is absolutely a mess and they're going to get told no. I think Drinkwitz would tell them no for that exact reason. I could be wrong, but I think he knows he's got a good thing going at Missouri with everybody in the administration in place, same values, pulling in the same direction, no conflict or egos going crazy. I think he values that and knows what it can do to help support his program. So I don't think you have to worry about LSU. That's just the feel I get. Penn State potentially. I wonder about kind of the culture, kind of leaving the Southeast for the first time, really. That's interesting. I think the one to watch is Florida. If the Florida fans are not willing to wait for Lane Kiffin, assuming they make the playoffs, I think Drinkwitz is number one on their list. That's my thought. So, all of this is more of a concern because I thought during Missouri's bye week, they might get an extension done and announced. They didn't. That to me is a suggestion that Drinkwitz did not just simply want to leverage more money out of, hey, everyone's saying I'm on their list. Yep, they're all interested in me. And I'm, for the right money, I might leave. Here's an extra 1.5 million a year. Okay, I'll stay. I thought there might be some of that. The fact that nothing happened during the bye week, to me, yeah, it kind of gets my spidey sense going that hey, Drinkwitz might want to hear what they have to say when it comes time for interviews and the coaching search is really getting underway in at the end of November. Um, so to me, it is concerning. That might be a little bit strong of a word, but I think the odds of Drink leaving are a little bit higher than than when all this first started. Um, yeah, and for the national scene, you're going to hear that Drink is as good as gone because on the national scene, Missouri is still viewed as they were 10 years ago at the beginning of the Barry Odom era, a dumpy little school who should be happy to be making a bowl game. Because let's face it, that's what they were pre-drink and even in the first couple of years of his tenure. And go back before Gary Pinkel. That's what they were for an entire generation. That's just reality. So that's going to happen. And this might be the one time that Drinkwitz goes through this. If he doesn't leave this year, I think the odds of him being a Mizzou lifer skyrocket. If LSU and Florida don't get him, I think you are really, really running out of teams that he would leave Mizzou to go coach. So, yeah, we'll see. I still think it's slightly above 50% that Drinkwitz stays, but I think it's more likely that he leaves than I thought 2 weeks ago. And if I were to handicap it, I'd put Florida as the most dangerous choice, then Penn State and LSU. I just don't think he'd go because of the mess of an administration they have right now. We'll see what happens. You certainly hope he stays because any coaching hire you can get is a crapshoot. With Drink, you know roughly what you have. That first call I'd make, if it comes to that, is James Franklin, by the way. Throw that out there right now. But we'll see. That all this may be for nothing. There may be an extension announced in the next few days. We'll see. But hey, we're gonna follow this Mizzou season, see what happens, and maybe a coaching search. We'll see. So until next time, thank you all for watching.